Listen, I'm in a cozy mood, and I'm also in my reading era because of Onyx Storm, and I'm basically aiming. I'm here, so I have this much left. I'm basically aiming to finish this by tomorrow, but I need to take a break from that. And then I was like, what got me back into reading? And I've always been a reader, but I was like, what had it been? And obviously, it was one of the most popular books that I think it's the most popular book, one of the most popular books on TikTok, but I would like to say that I was reading it before that because this girl I worked with, she was like, oh, like, I think you'd like this, like, here, let me give you my copy and see if you like it. And then I was like, oh, yes, and I think we all know what I'm talking about. This is going to be reversed for you guys, but you guys will get over it. Oh, the reflections are terrible. Oh. Like this? Like this? Ah, you could just see me. Great. Hello. But yeah, basically, oh, that reflection's gonna get really annoying, isn't it? Maybe I didn't think this through. I've also made the best matcha of my entire life. But basically, what if I like tilt this at like weird angles? We're still gonna see the reflection, aren't you? Ah, here's better. No, it's not. Here, here, here. If I like kind of point it in this direction. No. Put it on my Moda like this. Oh, why is it reflecting like that? I just don't understand. You can't even see it, can you? Not good. Okay, so I just slid on over to the side so that I can put my screen here. So if I'm glancing down, it's because I'm looking at my screen. But now hear me out. I never thought that this was going to be my kind of story, but you just get sucked in, okay? With ACOTAR, you just get sucked in. And so here we are. And I just want to say that there's that one Goodreads like review. You know the one I'm talking about. I'm going to put a little clip of it here. But it's frustratingly accurate, but not accurate all in the same breath, and it's just so annoying. So I wanted to kind of do like a quick summary of A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, like I did for Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. Not too in-depth, basically just covering like the bare bones of the story and like what you need to know. So if you don't want to read it, you don't have to, or if you just want to have a little jolly recap, that's what we're here for, okay? That is what we are here for. So, with that being said, let's just start. Let's just start. And we're starting with our main character, Feyre. This was very confusing because if you know like the general terminology, but essentially this book is about Fae, aka fairies, and I'm like, why is her name Feyre? It's just a little bit close for me. But anyway, Feyre is the youngest of 3 sisters. She's got 2 older sisters, Elaine and Nesta. Nesta's like an arrogant little and Elaine's kind of just away with the fairies, but like she doesn't want to be away with the fairies because essentially they're all split. Now there's a map. It looks like the map of England, of the UK, just saying. So that's how it is in my brain. I'll maybe put a picture up, but you can see. But where all the fairies and all the fae are is called, where is it? Prythian, and then they're in like the human realm. So Feyre is human, she's in the human realm. But her family's real poor and like all this business, and she's like the only one that's keeping it together, and so she's out there hunting. It's on one of these hunting trips where she's just trying to keep her family alive that she kills a wolf. She thinks it's a wolf. It's not a wolf. Turns out that this wolf is actually a shape-shifting fae. And now she's just broken the like most sacred rule, the treaty between the humans and the fae, that you cannot kill a fae. But she's done it. She scurries off, la la. Then the fae come down to her house like, nah, 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 nah. Then basically they're like, sis, you just killed us. You just killed one of us. You just broke the treaty. And basically she's like, okay, don't hurt my family, but like, what are you gonna do? And then he's like, well, I could kill you, but can't really be bothered. You're not, you like, don't want to waste my time doing that. So instead, your punishment is that you now have to come and live in Prithian for the rest of your life. So off Feyre trots to Prithian. Now, I didn't say who came to get her. The person who came to get her is Tamlin and his... Did his friend go with him? Maybe I needed to recap on the story myself a little. But it's Tamlin. Turns out Tamlin's a High Lord. She didn't know that. Tamlin is a High Lord of the Spring Court. Now, you would have seen from the map, but there's different areas. There's like Spring Court, Autumn Court, Night Court, all these courts, right? But Tamlin is from the court that is closest to the human realm, and it's the Spring Court, and it was one of his people that she killed, thinking it was a wolf. Admittedly, the wolf shapeshifted. Like, how the hell was she supposed to know that's a fairy? You know what I mean? She's just thinking, oh, big wolf, mealtime, dinner ticket. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to be feasting 6-course meal at 6 by Nico. But that's not what happened. Oh dear. Anyway, so she gets to the Spring Court and she's like, oh, what the hell are you going to do with me? Because she's like, oh my god, like, what are they going to do? Are they going to make me a slave? Blah, blah. But to her surprise, they're kind of just like, do whatever you want. So she's like, what sort of stupid ass punishment is this? So anyway, Tamlin's got a bestie boo. His name's Lucian. Anyway, Lucian is actually the son of one of the other High Lords of one of the other courts, the Autumn Court, but he's also Tamlin's bestie boo. Okay, now, a thing that's going around, so in the whole of Prithian, there's this thing that's going around called the Blight, which is like this like illness, like magic is all like messed up and all of that. But there's also a curse, but she doesn't really know it's a curse at the moment. She just knows there's a curse, and they're all wearing masks in the summer court, in the Spring Court, and she's like, what the hell's going on? But also, I'd be like so creeped out if everybody was walking around with masks on. So yeah, like Tamlin, Lucian, they've all got these masks like melted to their faces, they do not come off, and she's just there living it up essentially. There's also this little cute fae lady called Alice, and she's like the helper. So like she's like, Feyre's been given this like access to this like palace essentially, and she's got this like this little helper. But anyway, beside the point, I feel like I need to move the story along a little. So I need to clarify. Feyre, I've just accidentally. So Feyre has been taken to Prithian, into specifically the Spring Court. The Spring Court is where Tamlin is the High Lord of. Okay, so just High Lord, not High Lords. And there is also Lucian, because Lucian is just like living there as the bestie mate, because he's got his own issues. There's also a blight which is causing illness, but there's also a curse, which means there's like masks. Love that for them. Great. Anyway, slowly, really, just to like move the story along a little. Slowly, like there's like a relationship forming between Tamlin and Feyre, and it's like, oh, cute, I guess. Not that cute, but cute. Anyway, all that's happening, and then introducing this one guy, and he is important to the story, so I'll say it now. But they have this like weird like ritual thing, and it's like an event, and everyone's coming. And this one guy comes, and his name is Rhysand. Who's Rhysand? He is the High Lord of the Night Court, and it's so obvious that Tamlin hate her, because Rhysand is like meddlesome, troublesome, a bit of a villain. You get me? Anyway, a whole bunch of stuff happens. What's his name? Tamlin's a bit like, oh, I don't want you to get hurt, la la la, whatever. You can go back home to your human thingy. But before he does, he tells Feyre that he loves her. But she loves him back, but she doesn't say it. And she just trots on back over the border, over the wall, do you know what I mean? She's back home. When she's back home, she realised that Tamlin's like taking care of her family, and now her family aren't like poor anymore, and they're like quite wealthy, but they're a bit like thingy, like ooh, with her, because she's just been like, first of all, she was trying to save you guys, that's why she went. So I really don't understand this hatred. This whole Arcanon family, right? I find them confusing. Anyway, so then she gets like basically persuade, like somehow Nesta says something in like a weird way, and it's really surprising because it's not like, anyway, basically she just gets talked back into going. When she goes back, Spring Court Palace in shambles, like it's been like thingied, and then Alice basically tells Feyre like, oh, you should have flipping told him that you loved him, you idiot, because it would have broken the curse. And then she tells them about the curse and la 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 and all this, and then she's like, but where have they gone? And she goes, Amarantha has taken over and taken like them under the mountain. She's like trying to take over the whole of Prithian, right? Because she's on the side of this King Highburn. He's not too important in this book, but whatever. She's like basically one of his little croonies, but she's trying to take over Prithian and like get them all in. But she's got this thing for Tamlin, and that's why there's a curse. But you don't really know that yet. I don't really know when you find that out, but you find that out. And then Alice is like, you can save them, la la. So then off Feyre trots to under the mountain, and there she's captured, right? And Amarantha, she's like this like crazy lady, right, villainous to the core, and she's basically gonna torture her essentially. But she basically says to Feyre, like, oh, you know, you're stupid. You're not going to save anybody here. But I'll let you think you're going to by like doing these like challenges. So Feyre's like, oh, okay, I'm going to do the challenges. I'm going to save Prithian, and I'm going to save Tamlin because I'm in love with Tamlin. La 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 la. All of this. Anyway, so then all of that begins. The first one is getting chased by a worm through a labyrinth kind of thing, but then Feyre is able to use her like hunting skills and all of that, and all of the court bets against all of the people there under the mountain, who are there by force, so I don't really know why they're all participating, but whatever, are betting against Feyre. The only person who bets on Feyre winning this challenge is, you never guess who, our like little baddie little villain, Rhysand. Anyway, she manages to defeat the worm with her like hunting whatever abilities. What is it with like fantasy stuff and worms? Like Dune's got a worm, this has got a worm. I don't know. Anyway, and so that's what happens. And then, but she's injured. She's got like broken arm, and she's captured, and she's put in this like weird little like location. And guess who offers to help her mend her arm? Very obvious, Rhysand. Rhysand does it, but he says, but the sticky one still, because the only way I'm going to help you is if you agree to every month, once we leave here for a week, you have to come and stay with me in the night court. She's a bit like, Tamlin's not going to like this, but she agrees because her arm is like hanging off or whatever, and so she does it. And then there's all these other internal politics going on as well, but just know that that's all that you really need to know right now. And then the second one is that she has to do this like logic puzzle, and she has to click pull this lever, and if she pulls the wrong one, then her and Lucien will get crushed, because Lucien did try and help her and Amarantha found out. Anyway, the problem is Feyre doesn't know how to read. This queen's illiterate. Okay, so she's like, so who does she get help from? Rhysand, who we all think is sneaky, is actually like trying to help her. So she's like, what the hell's going on? Because I'm getting so many mixed signals, because is this dude helping me, or is he what's going on? Anyway, she, with the help of Rhysand, manages to make it through. Now the thing is, we're not all loving Rhysand. Like, yeah, he's all of a sudden had this like cheeky turn, and is like, he's like charming or whatever, and then he's like helping out, but then also he's basically making Feyre go to these like weird like events with him as his like escort essentially, and it's weird, right? And he's like showing off because Tamlin's gonna be at all these events, and like because basically from if I'm remembering this right, I think Amarantha like loves Tamlin and like wants to be with him, but he's a bit like, I don't really want to be with you. And now she's even more annoyed because it looks like he loves Feyre. In fact, we know he does. I don't know if Amarantha knows that. But now Feyre's like basically going to die, technically, to save him. So now she's like, what the hell? She's like, I just want all of Prithian. Ultimate revenge. She just wants all of Prithian. Anyway, so she's going to all these events and like weird like sexual things are happening everywhere, which is why I think I thought I wasn't going to like this book, but when you actually think about the plot, it's not that bad. Anyway, also I need to reference this flipping Bat Boys thing that this review on Goodreads says is they're not bats. Please stop it. They're not bats. Anyway, I can't explain what they are, but they're just not bats. Okay. Anyway, so they're under the mountain, and then there's one final task. And the task is that she has to stab 3 fairies. So she stabs the first 2, Lala. She gets the 3rd one. They pull the hood off. It's flipping Tamlin. She's like, so do I have to kill the one I love, the reason I'm here? But then she remembers this technicality, which is that Tamlin's always talking about having a flipping stone heart or something, and so she's like, oh, so is that like, was that not metaphorical? Like, it's not like he genuinely has a stone heart. So then she stabs him, and she was right, and so he doesn't die. But then Amarantha's like fuming because she didn't think it would happen, and she's like, I'm not gonna break this curse just because of technicality. No. So she starts basically beating Feyre to death. And then like Feyre's like dead. But then all of the High Lords that are there are like, oh, like this human girlie just tried to save us. Like we should probably be thankful to her. And so they all, each of the High Lords, all 6 of them, including like Tamlin, Rhysand, like Lucian's dad, like all these, they basically revive her by using their magic. And then she wakes up and she's alive. Because she'd also figured out that the riddle, I don't think I mentioned this, basically I think Amarantha had given her a riddle when she first arrived under the mountain, and she didn't know the answer. And so that's why she had to do the challenges. But she figures out the answer, of course, right at the end when she's about to die. And yeah, they bring her back to life. But then she goes back to Spring Court, and now she's with Tamlin, and it's all like whatever, but she's got it looming over her that she's made this deal with Rhysand where she has to go to the Night Court and like stay with him for a week for every month. And then also I didn't mention that when they made the deal, she ended up having this whole like tattoo business, like as the bond to say you must come, like you this is whatever. Anyway, did that make any sense? The second book's way better. Just wait, because every opinion that you had after the first book, it just goes right out the window when you start reading the second book. So yeah, that was a really like that was a really like my mind doesn't settle way of telling you the story in like a fun and cute way. Okay, bye.